This is the best Facebook ads tool that way too many of you have never heard of. So allow me to introduce you to the event setup tool. This is a way that you can track buttons and links on your website and let Facebook know this is a lead, this is a view content, this is a purchase. You can track events a lot more effectively with a pixel, because a lot of times if you don't have an API integration with Shopify or something like that, it is actually not going to track very accurately. So especially if you're sending to a landing page, you're going to want to know about this tool. So to get there, once you're in Ads Manager, you're going to go to Events Manager, because everything concerning the pixel is in Events Manager. And then you are going to go to Data Sources, and then you are going to go to Settings, and then scroll down. So you're going to click on Open Event Setup Tool, and then you are going to go to the website that you want to track whatever the customers are doing when they're on your site, and you want to let Facebook know what the certain events are that they do. So you're going to click on Open Event Setup Tool, and then you are going to put your website in that we want to start tracking certain actions of what people do on your website and denoting to Facebook what those actions are. Make sure you put in the HTTPS. Sometimes it is buggy, by the way, if people, or if you see, sometimes it will block the pop-up, and you'll have to click right here to open the pop-up. And if you do that, a lot of times once you've opened the pop-up, you actually have to exit this and then reopen it for it to work. So that's confusing, but for those of you who run into that situation, you'll know what I'm talking about. And this is a way that I can go through my site and say, hey, track this button. So let me go ahead and just delete this one here. And then I'm going to say, hey, track a new button. And then it's going to say, hey, there's a button right there. What does that mean? And I'm going to say people who click on that button is a purchase, or I could set it as a lead, or whatever I want to set it as. I can even say, hey, here is the value of that would be this $49 is the value of that, which you should always set when it is applicable to you. You can't set the value unless you are choosing a value from text on the page, just so you know. And then I can also say, hey, track a URL, and then it will bring up the URL that I'm on right now. So I could say contains, which means that if it adds some extra numbers to the end, which it definitely likes to do, that it will still count it because it still contains this base URL. And I could say people who get to this page would be a view content, and I will not choose a value of that because that is not a purchase. And I can go to confirm. So now when I go into Facebook and check out my different events, so let me go ahead and just finish this setup here. Go to finish, skip. And I want to go to my overview. Now I would see it where every time someone would go to that page, it would log it as a viewed content. And anytime someone would click that button that I denoted as a purchase, it would count it as a purchase. So this is a great thing to do for any of you that are doing like a WordPress site, or you are using landing pages. You're going to want to go in here and set certain buttons as whatever they are, so that you can actually track things properly. The other scenario that this is really great for is if you are sending someone to, after they click a button, they are going to a site that you aren't able to track. So let's say that you are running a course on teachable.com to which you can't put your pixel on the Teachable website, and you're going to have it where after someone buys something, it brings them to Teachable for them to create their login. So I can't put a pixel on teachable.com, so I can't track purchases by saying, hey, people who get to teachable.com/socialbamboo, that is a purchase, right? That's one way we can track things, is when they get to a web page. However, in that case, the pixel does not exist on that page, but it does exist on the page that they are checking out on. So instead of saying, hey, if they make it to this page, we're going to call that an initiate checkout or an add to cart, but if they click on this button, that is when you are going to count it as a purchase. So it allows us to track purchases or leads on pages that are existing before a page that they're going to go to, which actually doesn't have the pixel on it. I hope this all makes sense for those of you who are more seasoned with Facebook ads. I'm sure it does. If not, then hey, it will probably make sense in time, but make sure you save this video, because any kind of tracking, this is actually something that you're really going to want to utilize. I utilize it every week for my clients when we're creating landing pages for them to effectively track the buttons. Last thing that I will say though is that if someone clicks the button but their card declines, it will still count that as a purchase in Facebook ads. So it is better to track on the thank you page whenever you have the chance, because they won't be able to make it to the thank you page unless their card does process. So you will have sometimes over reporting when someone clicks on it and their card declines, then it's still going to count it as a purchase because they still clicked the button. So just be wary of that. There are so many more videos like this on my channel that really just explain how Facebook ads works. I'm going to link a video here in a second too that is called Explaining Understanding Facebook Ads Manager. It's my 2025 version of that. So if you really are interested in all of the functionality that you can do inside Meta Ads Manager, make sure you check that out. I'll see you in the next video.